Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I'm the author of LittleTiles and I will try to show you the basics of LittleTiles. So let's get started. Okay, so the first tool we're gonna need is the hammer, which allows us to start with all kinds of crazy stuff. This is the tool to get the tiles out of the blocks. So for example, I'm just gonna pick a grass block and right click the hammer, and I can put the grass block in here, and now I can do whatever I want to. So for example, I can change the size of X, Y, and Z as I want to. So I can just make it as big as a regular cube, or I can just build a small flat cover, or I can just build a small piece. So now we got everything up and ready, and as you can see, I can place it anywhere I want to. It's not bound to any Minecrafty grid or something like that. I can just place it in between. So if I'm not gonna place it, it will split it up into 4 different parts because it's actually placed on the corner. So it will split up across 4 Minecraft blocks. And those are actually separated, so I can destroy that one. I can destroy each one of them separately. And yeah, I can also hold shift, which will automatically align it with the Minecraft grid, so I can just build it as I want to. So it will automatically align with the Minecraft grid. This of course also works for the cover. So I can rather easily build a line here or something like that. And of course I can also just build it as I want to and make it break the rules of Minecraft. And I can of course also place the little one and do something with that. So I can just use the arrow keys to rotate the tile. For example, I want to make some kind of bridge or something like that, and I can just put it across here and put a block here. Of course I can also rotate it again, and yeah, it's pretty basic and straightforward. So you can build anything you want to. Okay, but there's a lot more you can do with the hammer. You can also, for example, hammer a glowstone block, and we can just make it a cover, and I can place it and it will emit light. And of course you can just do all kinds of things with that. You can even build small light structures, which are actually something like lights. And you can of course hammer all other blocks as well. Even stained glass is now available due to the new version, so I can just place that one. And there are blocks added by LittleTiles which are meant to be flat or which have a specific texture, so you can color them later on. So I'm just gonna grab a clean one, and there are also some clean lights or water block you can use. So if I'm just place them, this one actually has the ordinary water texture, and that one is just a glass. There are different types of thickness, difficult word, and yeah, you can just use the one you want to or something like that. So for now we just grab that one. So as you can see, this is a rather clean texture. There's also there are also other ones with some kind of texture on it, and there's also a lightning block which will emit light, so you can just make light out of every color you want to. And you can also use that clay block, which is kinda cool looking. Those blocks are white because they can be colored later on. So for example, I'm just grabbing that clean block, just remove that. So grabbing that clean block, and now I can place it inside here and change the color as I want to. So we can just make this ugly color and place it. And you can do that with anything you want to. We can make, for example, yeah, red class paints or something like that, and it will basically just apply the color to the block. You can of course also change the color of Minecraft blocks, so I can just make a pink clean stone, and yeah, you can basically do anything you want to. And you can of course use glass or leaves, so those will just work straightforward. You can of course also build water if you want to, and this water you will be able to walk through that. Yeah, this will just act as ordinary water placed as a little tile. Of course it will not float or something like that, it's just for decoration use or something like that. Okay, now you know how to build most of the basic stuff, but for example, if you want to have it one lower or something like that, you will have to pick the block, get the color again, and then make it one block smaller. But you can also use the saw, which will allow you to manipulate the tiles as you want to. So I can just right click on the side I want to increase, so I'm just gonna make it thicker, and I can reverse the effect by holding shift. So you can just change the height or something like that, or make it smaller. I can do anything I want to, and I can of course also expand it across the grid system, which will result in creating another block, which is of course again independent from the original one. Yes, it's a pretty basic tool, but it's pretty powerful and helpful. You will need it a lot if you work with this mod. So as we were talking about colors, there's also a color tube which will just allow you to change the color of a tile. I can just right click it, select the color I want to, and now I can just right click a tile and, for example, change this to blue. I can also shift right click to get the color from the tile, and again right click or modify the color, make it a bit darker or something like that. And I can also make it a normal tile again by changing the color to white, which will bring it back to its original state. Another useful tool is the wrench, which will allow you to combine everything in one block. So for example, I'm creating a lot of small leaf tiles, and as you can see, those are all separate from each other. So if I'm changing the size of that one, it will just only be for that one and not for the others as well. So now I can just right click with the wrench and it will combine all of them together. It's also useful for performance. Most of the times this is done automatically, but it also should keep your way of placing things. So if you want to have it like that, for example, you just do that, and you want to change the height of each one separately, it would be pretty stupid if would have combined it already. So it will just combine it if you place it as a structure, but we will get to that later on. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the rubber mallet, which is pretty simple. You can just right click a tile and it will move it by one. You can also do this across the grid again, of course. And you can of course reverse the effect by holding shift as always. And yeah, you can just do anything you want to with that tool, and you can even move structures. Once we have ones, I will show it again. So the next tool is the utility knife. It was also added in the update. It should have been there already for a long time, but I never got to it, so I finally implemented it, and it's really useful. So it allows you, as you can see already, it allows you to remove just one bit or a pixel out of a block. So you can just remove that and do anything I want to. I can just put a small face in the block, which is kind of difficult to spot. Yeah, but you can do anything you want to with this tool. You can of course also, you can just edit this leaf block or something like that. And that was my phone. You can also change the type or the mode to bar, which will remove a complete bar out of the block. So I can just, for example, if I'm placing that one here, I can just remove a straight line out of the block. It will always take the direction I will take. So if I'm aiming on that side, it will go along there, or if I'm looking on the downside, it will just break it vertically. And of course there's another mode which is just plain, and it will just remove a whole plane from the block. So you can just make that down, and yeah, you can of course also modify regular Minecraft blocks, so you can just make cool stairs by doing so. Yeah. So I almost covered all of the tools which are available. There's also the container, which is really useful, or is the only way to work in survival mode. You will need that, but I will cover the survival mode in another video. The last tool I'm gonna show you now is the Chisel. It's basically it's a creative mode only tool, and yeah, it's basically something like World Edit, but it's just meant for LittleTiles. So I can just select two positions. I can select the first position by just right clicking, and the second by sneaking, and I can now just right click in the air and now change things. So I can say I want to change something. So let's say I want to change the clean block. It should be somewhere around here. So I want to change the clean color block to sponge, and I can say force metadata. That will force it to be wet, I think, in that case. I've not selected a task. Okay. Don't forget to say replace it with. That's you can have two different types of tasks. You can say I want to colorize it, and you can also say I want to replace it with. So you can do both or just one. So I'm just doing that one, and as you can see, it has changed to be a red sponge, and it also emits some particle effects. So yeah, okay, I set a position again. I can also say I want any block to be colored in this ugly color, which will, yeah, just do that. And I can also of course select any and make it normal again. Yeah, so if you have to do some things with if you have used the wrong block or something like that, you can change that later on. You can also use this for larger areas, and it's basically just a creative only tool. So as we covered all of the tools, now we can finally get to structures. So yeah, so I think doors are the most important thing right now. So let's build just a normal door. I like to use stone for the handle. We can just build a small dot there, and I think, yeah, it's a pretty simple and basic doors, but I think it will do just fine for the tutorial. So now you just build something, and you should take care of the Minecraft grid system, because the reset you're gonna use to select the structure does not take care of the LittleTiles position, but only of the Minecraft grid system. So you don't select each tile, but you select each Minecraft block. So I select the top, at the bottom and the top, which are basically two Minecraft blocks. So it will pick everything inside this block. So if you have something here which should not be part of the door, it will copy it, as you can see, and it's something you don't want to have. So keep take care of that your thing built is the only thing inside this block. So we can just take that, and there we have a door. And if we right click the reset, you have to first click on 2 positions. You can shift right click to clear it out again, and then again select 2 positions just by right clicking. And there we go. So if we again right click, you can see that there's a type, and we can select different types of structures. For now we're gonna just select doors. So we can just select the door. We want the axis, that's the point where the door will rotate around here. You can also flip the view, which will just flip the view. It only takes effect if your structure is not symmetrical. You can swap the axis. We will come to that later. For now we just keep it like that. So we just move the green dot to the point where we want to have it. We can select the duration. I think 50 is fine for now. So let's save it. And now we need the wrench. So we just right click the wrench, and then we can put the reset in there and hit craft, and it will automatically craft. In survival mode you would need some ingredients for that, but as we are in the survival mode, nothing needs to be done. So if you're holding this thing in your hand, you can see the axis, which is the red thing. And that's the point where the door will rotate around, and now we can just place it. And right click, and it will open the door. And open it again. And do it again. And we can also, yeah, place something around. For example, if I'm placing it like that, I can just, yeah, via shift right clicking, align it perfectly, so it will only rotate. It will not rotate around, but because it can, so it will just keep opening and closing. And that's pretty much how those work. Of course you can do more advanced stuff with it, and you can rotate it using the arrow keys, and you can of course change the position again, so we can make it become some kind of trapdoor or whatever this is called. You can go down here and close it again. Yeah. As you can see, you can walk through the doors, which is something that's gonna be changed. But for now, it's just that's how it works. Yeah. And there's another thing you can do. For example, if you want to have a double door, in our example, we can just rotate the door because it doesn't have the back side, and the front side is quite the same. But if not, you could have run into some issues, and then you can just take this one and press G, looking into the direction, and you will flip the structure you're having and holding in your hand, and which will make it rather easy to use some double doors. Yeah. You can also build all kinds of other doors. Okay, so if you want to say this should be our trapdoor, for example, let's say we can just use the clean one and make it black, and then we can just build a small ring, which could be the ring to open the trapdoor. I don't know. It looks kind of ugly, I know. So if you're gonna select that one, you can just make it a door, and then we swap the axis, and then we can select the rotating point. I think that's, yeah, we'll just do it like that, and press save, and then we can just get it here, and then we can see it's our trapdoor, and we can just build it. And yeah, now we have beautiful trapdoor. Yay. And there are a lot of other structures we can build. can also just build, say we can just build a small chair. So like that. And we can, yep, just do that. I can just make it like that. Change it back. Boom. As you can see, I can't place that one because there's actually one bit interfering. So to place it nonetheless, you just press Ctrl while you are right clicking, and this will force the placement. And as you can see, it is placed, and it just tries to place it everywhere it can. And yeah, so we can just remove that bit, and there we have it. And you can also, I'm just gonna take that as an example, you can just hold Shift and Control, and it will just surround everything with this grass block. Yeah, so that's really important, because it makes a lot of things quicker and easier. So let's take the restep again. As you can see, the part here is already in the new Minecraft, so we would need to select that as well. And so we can just say it should be a chair, take out the wrench again and place it. And you can just sit on it. And it will automatically calculate the height where you should sit, and yeah, that's basically it. You can of course also rotate that one and make it you're sitting a bit sideways, but you just will always sit on top. So there are even more types of things you can do with those structures. For example, we can just let's say we just take those two stones and build a small coverage. Just gonna do that and rotate it, and then we're gonna select that, and we make it a Noclip structure. We can say if we want to be slowed down or not, and yeah, so can just place it inside here. As you can see, it does not really look different, but you can just walk through. Yeah, that's basically the Noclip structure. You can also build a structure without any sort of feature. So for example, if you're just gonna make a small stone table, just like that, and it basically does not have any feature or anything, but we want to have it in a structure, so we just call it fixed. It's basically just a structure without any purpose, and yeah, it basically acts as a structure, so I can place it, and if I remove one bit of it, the whole structure will be removed. I can also pick it again by it will also be dropped, and I can also pick it via my mouse wheel, and yeah, I can also rotate it as I want to, and can, don't know, make a silly whatever table. And I think I can even place it, wait a second. Yeah, there we go. So you can do all kind of stupid stuff with that, and fixed basically means it doesn't have any sort of purpose instead of just being a furniture. So another structure you can create is the storage structure, and therefore you will need this little storage. So you can just set anything to be storage structure, but it will be empty. So it depends on how much storage block tiles you have, or it's not about the tiles but about the volume you have in total. So let's make just a simple one. Just gonna make a small cube. Oh, we already had that one. So And I'm gonna place it right in the center of the block, and I have to move it one upwards, and then I'm gonna grab one block, make it actually full sized, and press shift and control, and now I can just place it all around it. Yeah, just to cover it up so you don't see it anymore, which wouldn't be a problem, but I'm just doing that for decoration purpose. Or I mean, it looks like it should just be a first demonstration only. So if I'm now gonna select storage, you will see it says this, it tells you the size of the storage structure, and if you now place it, you can actually place it as you want to. It will act as an inventory, and you can put stuff in there, and even if you remove it in survival mode or pick it and place it again, it will be in there still. So that's actually how storage works. You can also go fancy with that, and let's say we want to create a small bottle, and yeah, okay, that's that's a beautiful bottle. And now I can select that again, storage, and select invisible storage tiles, which will basically just make them invisible, so looks better. Yeah, so we have a bottle with one slot where you can put 8 items in. It's pretty small, but I think it looks cool. So yeah, those are the storage structures you can create. Okay, but there's still more you can do with those structures. For example, we can just pick this stone pillar and make it actually full sized. We're gonna just take it and make a ladder out of it, and then we can craft it, and then we have a fancy ladder, which is awesome. Yeah, okay, it might be not the best ladder you have ever seen, but you got the idea. Okay, so, and there's also a bed, which you can just act as a normal bed. You can sleep in there. Yeah, but right now it shouldn't be able to because it's like daytime. Yeah. To end the tutorial, I want to show you the LittleTiles mod in action. This is a small house we built for the trailer last year, and yeah, we updated the windows due to the glass blocks you can use. And yeah, so this is, but most of it is still the same as it used to be 1 year ago. We can just work inside here, and yeah, basically everything in here is a structure except of the walls and the floor, of course. So we can just pick that and, I don't know, place it again if you would like to. Small light, also put there, for example. Plant, some other stuff, more bookshelves, and you can even interact with the furnace, and some glitchy textures because the block we used back then is not there anymore, and yeah, just ignore it. You can of course open every window if you would like to, and of course you can sit in the chairs. The table is also a structure, and just pick that one. So basically every furniture is a structure, and also the light. I want to have more light over here. We could just place it. Yes, and of course every door is working as it should be. Some more chairs, and even that those are structures, so you can build some more fences if you want to. Just really easy, but don't do that at the moment. Of course there's a bathroom where you can sit on the toilet, yay, and even some water. As you can see, it's animated due to the shader. You can also close it, of course. yeah, there are no mirrors in LittleTiles, unfortunately. And just some beautiful rooms. So I hope I could introduce you into the basics of the mod. It took a little bit longer than I expected to do this tutorial. I'm sorry for my accent, and I hope I could explain it to you all in a way so you can understand it. And see you next time.